Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be discussing as well as breaking down all of the reveals that took place as part of this year's Hasbro Pulsecon 2021, this long awaited event which has been hyped up now for roughly 2 months. Of course we were shown the entire first wave of Transformers Legacy and then the 2 Hasbro Pulsecon exclusives, but in regards to any of the other Transformers lines such as Studio Series, it was completely void. We sadly didn't get any reveals for those, so once again Studio Series is taking a slight backbench when in comparison to the main Generations line, which as always is really disappointing, especially for someone like me who's a massive fan of the live action movies or even just the 86 movie line in general. I actually really love both of those, and it would be great to in fact actually see the Studio Series appear more and more on some of these FanFest streams and of course the actual Pulsecon streams. But nevertheless, I'm pretty certain that we'll get reveals somewhere or another of the upcoming Studio Series Bumblebee movie figures and of course that leader class, the Fallen, which has been rumoured for quite some time now. But that's not to take anything away from this event. I actually thought the reveals that were shown off today are all incredibly exciting, and despite some of my earlier comments in regards to the Transformers Legacy reveals that we got of Bulkhead and Skids, I've got to be honest and say that as a whole I'm in fact actually really excited for this line. It definitely does appear to be a slight breath of fresh air when in comparison to the War for Cybertron trilogy, which of course became a little stagnated towards the end with just the G1 characters constantly becoming rinse and repeat. But this line as a whole definitely does seem incredibly exciting. Now I believe we've got 4 brand new reveals, and that is in fact excluding the reveals of Skids and Bulkhead. So we got essentially the full first wave consisting of the Deluxe, Voyager and Leader. Sadly no Commander, no Titan or Core class figures were in fact discussed or shown off, but we did in fact get future figures actually teased with the reveal of one character which I'll be touching base with in just a second. So before we actually discuss the products, we of course did in fact get this awesome piece of artwork of Transformers Legacy, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Now this is in fact the next trilogy going forward, so we're no doubt in fact actually going to be seeing a Netflix series of this. That was something that was actually discussed. This is indeed an almost sequel to the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, which is awesome, as I actually thought that Kingdom was a pretty decent installment in the Netflix series and the toys have just been absolutely awesome. So I am glad to see that they are in fact continuing this universe, and you can see that here straight away with this artwork. So we've got the Siege Optimus Prime on the left and the Siege Megatron on the right, and then we've got a whole host of other characters, some of which were in fact revealed today and then others which I'm sure we'll see later on in the year. So you can see there we've got Rodimus Prime, which of course we've already previously gotten, but then we've got Dragstrip, and a character which sadly wasn't revealed today but we'll no doubt see in the future is that of Autobot Blaster. Now this has been a character that I've been super excited for so long. There are rumours that he was in fact going to be making an appearance in the final wave of the War for Cybertron trilogy in a new wave 5, but that does appear to be scrapped. You can see him here in Transformers Legacy, so we'll no doubt see him in either the first or the second wave, and judging by this image they're going to stick very truthful to his G1 design, which as always is awesome. You can also see here what appears to be that Dragon Megatron that was teased. We've also got an image here of what appears to be Thundercracker, which is quite surprising. We've got an Insecticon, Bulkhead, and of course RC, but overall this artwork looks fantastic, and we have what appears to be Cybertron slap bang in the center. Now it was also discussed that Transformers Legacy is in fact a multiverse, which once again is super exciting, as it appears as if though all franchises are in fact actually doing multiverse at the moment, and Transformers has hopped on the bandwagon, and I actually couldn't be any more excited than I already am. I think it's an awesome concept, and to actually see other characters from different universes appearing in one universe is just super exciting. But without further ado, let's begin to discuss the reveals. So in terms of the Deluxe class, the new reveals that were in fact shown off today is that of the Transformers Legacy Deluxe class Stuntercon Dragstrip, and for the most part this figure here actually looks pretty awesome. Now of course they're sticking incredibly faithful to how he appeared in G1, which is super cool. I think for the most part the robot mode looks pretty fantastic. The only area which I'm not a huge fan of are in fact the shoulders. He appears to have these almost shoulder pauldrons which he just did not have in G1, so unless these are removable or maybe this figure's been mistransformed, that is definitely an eyesore, at least in my personal opinion. But I think the head sculpt looks fantastic. He also comes with these really cool dual blasters which also look awesome. You can see the overall proportions of this guy appear to be fantastic. You've got the 2 wheels on the shoulder as per tradition with his G1 design. There are some hollow spacing in the actual legs, but considering this guy is in fact going to be a part of something much bigger, he is in fact a combiner, I am easily able to in fact forgive that. And then of course we get an image of him here in the racing car mode, and this also looks really well done. I definitely think they've knocked it out of the park where Dragstrip is concerned. Even the torso piece that actually holds the engine block looks so awesome. So besides those shoulders, an area which I'm really hoping is in fact just mistransformation, or an area which hopefully is removable, this guy looks pretty solid, and it was heavily alluded and hinted at that we are in fact going to be seeing all 5 of the Stuntercons, and they will no doubt form the combiner, as on the back of Dragstrip's box it did in fact state 1 out of 5, so we're definitely going to be seeing MENASOR, which is super exciting, which means that we are in fact actually potentially going to be seeing that rumoured Commander class Motormaster, which makes me incredibly excited, as Motormaster is by far one of my favourite character designs that we ever got out of G1, and to finally get a Commander class last figure of that guy, honestly, it's just going to look absolutely incredible. The next reveal we got was a character that up until we actually got the bulkhead reveal earlier on this week, I was really excited for. And then of course we got the bulkhead reveal, and it did appear as if though there was slightly stylized in the Transformers Prime designs, but as the week has progressed and we've began to hear more and more about Transformers Legacy, I am in fact actually warming up to the idea of taking characters from different universes and essentially giving them this G1 stylized design, and that is exactly what we have here with the Transformers Prime inspired Deluxe Class RC. Now I will be completely honest and say that I do think she looks slightly too bulky and blocky when in comparison to what this character really should be. You can see that she has got an incredibly broad upper torso, but other than that I think she's turned out pretty decent. You can see some very nice details, especially where the head is concerned. It really does harken back to the TF Prime RC design. Definitely not what I was expecting, but by no stretch of the imagination terrible. You can see we've got the pink sections on the side of the head as well as for the crest. The running theme of this particular line will be these almost energon weapons, so you can see how she's got these two blades attached on the arms. Once again, a really nice homage to the actual Transformers Prime RC. The torso design, other than it being bulky, I think looks really nice. The sculpted and detailing is pretty cool. I think the paintwork is also really awesome, and you can see that sadly for the legs, this is an area which once again I'm hoping is slightly mistransformed, as the wheels do appear to literally just be hanging on the side of the legs. These don't look the best, but if you are in fact actually able to flip them into the back of the legs, much like the TF Prime design, this is going to look a lot better, and it does appear as if though she's got all of that standard War for Cybertron articulation, such as the waist rotation and of course the ankle rocker pivot. And we've also got an image here of her in her motorbike mode. Now this actually looks really cool. I think in regards to a color palette, they've absolutely nailed the metallic blue that RC had in TF Prime. You can see this looks really cool. Once again, slightly stylized, but this is in fact inspired by a 90s style of motorbike, and for the most part I think this looks pretty decent. She's a really awesome mold, but we'll no doubt see countless repaints of this into Elite 1, etc. But definitely a lot better than I was expecting, and once again I have warmed up to the idea of taking characters from different universes and essentially giving them a G1 stylized spin. Then we turn it to, once again, another G1 character. Now this was one that I was actually really excited for. Finally, we do in fact get some Insecticons. And the first Insecticon that has been revealed is that of Kickback. Now this too was a character that I discussed in a previous video of actually being rumoured to be a part of the first wave of Transformers Legacy, and this guy is just what you would expect from what we got from War for Cybertron. So once again, they've done a fantastic job. In regards to robot mode, this is by far going to be the best Kickback that we've ever gotten from Hasbro, at least here in the main line. This guy is finally a Deluxe class, so not in that almost Scout class that we got, I believe, released for Power of the Primes, and he looks really impressive. For bot mode, I think the head sculpt looks fantastic. He comes, of course, with his traditional G1 blaster, as well as these two purple energon weapons that attach onto the side of the arms. I think the wing design looks fantastic. You can once again see we've got this really nice texture detail. It was indeed mentioned that they are in fact carrying over some of the design traits that we got from Kingdom, where they give us those realistic beast modes, and that is definitely apparent here with Kickback. I think he looks really cool. The proportions for the most part look wicked, especially where that golden torso is concerned. The paint apps all look really awesome, and it's just great that we're finally getting some updated versions of these Insecticons, characters which have been long overdue an upgrade. And then we've got him here in his Grasshopper alt mode, actually looking really cool. Once again, you can see the wings. I think the legs, upon actually seeing them for the first time, I wasn't entirely convinced, and then I did in fact actually go back and look at the original character design and some of the figures that have come out prior, and once again I think this is the best version that we've gotten so far. This looks really awesome. Once again, they showcased the bulkhead, which looked a little better in hand when in comparison to some of those initial promo images that we've got. And then finally, probably the biggest reveal of the day, at least for me, was that of the Transformers Legacy Leader Class G2 Laser Prime. Now this too is also a character which was heavily rumoured, but to actually see it finally revealed, this looks awesome. This is by far the best G2 Optimus Prime we had ever gotten, and I think it's mainly down to the simple fact that this does in fact actually borrow some engineering and some parts from that of the Earthrise Optimus, which in my opinion is one of the best mainline Optimus Prime figures we've ever got released. So you can definitely see that where the legs are concerned, the legs do appear to be an extensive retool of that of the Earthrise Prime, and maybe even Siege Prime to a certain extent. You can definitely see that also in the toes, but the entire upper torso is completely brand new. This looks so well done. You can also see the Matrix of Leadership actually embedded within the chest, which is a super nice touch. We've got those thrusters actually attached there to the shoulders, incredibly big and bulky as they should be, and the head sculpt also looks super awesome. It does appear as if though he also has got articulated fingers. Now I don't believe this was something that was discussed, but it would stand to reason, especially considering this is a Voyager class Optimus Prime being released at the Leader class price point. Of course, considering it comes with the trailer, it does warrant that Leader price point, and the trailer is actually really interesting. So this opens up into an almost battle station, and there's some really nice details going on with this. So you've got this almost manipulator claw, you've also got a turret slap bang on the top, and then we take a look at Prime in the truck mode. Now this also looks really awesome. The actual semi-truck itself is definitely giving me 07 live action movie Prime vibes. You can see there we've got what appear to be some lovely flame details actually on the front of the truck, and just in terms of an actual truck design, it is very reminiscent of that Peterbilt semi-truck. And of course you've got the tank tanker trailer there at the back, which looks fantastic. And very quickly here, just going through some of the box art in an attempt to in fact actually completely abolish plastic on the figures. It does appear as if though for the most part they're using cardboard, so for leader class it's a complete closed box. The artwork looks absolutely fantastic. The Transformers Legacy logo also looks awesome, and you can see there we've also got Bulkhead, which looks really cool. And then finally, to wrap up the reveals, they did in fact showcase 2 Hasbro Pulsecon exclusives, that being the Covert Agent Ravage, which is such an awesome set, as well as the Behold Galvatron / Unicron accessory or companion pack, of which I do in fact have reviews for both of those up over on the channel already, so be sure to check those out if you wish for me to go into more detail and in fact actually show off the product. So overall, by no stretch of the imagination, a bad day for reveals. I actually thought it was really awesome. If we hadn't got those initial reveals from IGN earlier on this week, then maybe this would have been a little more impactful, but of course we did in fact kind of know as to what to expect in terms of reveals today. But Transformers Legacy, the first wave, is definitely shaping up to be really cool. I think that G2 Laser Prime looks awesome, and some of those Transformers Prime characters that I was a little skeptical about actually look a little better in hand, and now it has been explained slightly more that these are characters that are in fact just inspired by their respected source material. I am in fact able to accept them a little more than I was earlier on, and I also think Kickback looks awesome, and the fact that we're actually going to be seeing a combiner, a MENASOR done right, is just super exciting. So I would love to know down in the comment section below on what you guys thought of all of the reveals that we got today. Out of all of the figures shown, which ones had you the most excited? For me, it's got to be Laser Prime and Dragstrip. I just think those guys look really awesome. And also be sure to check out my reviews for the 2 Hasbro Pulsecon exclusives already live and ready over on the channel. I thank you guys so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.